Located just 60 minutes outside of Seattle, Washington, Olympic National Park has plenty of things to do that you won't find anywhere else. A mix of rainforests, rocky beaches, mountainous overlooks, and wild coastlines make this place a must-see travel destination. In this video, we're going to cover the top things to do in Olympic National Park and give you some tips for making the most out of your visit. Let's get started. Take a hike in Sol Duc Valley. The Sol Duc Valley is one of the most spectacular sections of Olympic National Park. The area has a variety of hiking trails ranging from just under 1 mile to multi-day hikes. The first stop that anyone should take when visiting the valley is the Sol Duc Falls overlook. This is a 50-foot waterfall that cascades into a slot canyon below. Sol Duc Falls is located just a few minutes from the parking lot, so it's an easy hike that's perfect for kids or tired travelers. On sunny days, you can see rainbows rising out of the mist. Two other hikes in the area that you can't miss are the Lover's Lane Loop and the hike to Mink Lake. Each of these hikes will take about 3 to 4 hours to complete. The trails zigzag through moss-covered old-growth forests, fern groves, and waterfalls. You'll encounter multiple bridge crossings and perhaps some muddy trails along the way. Hiking in the Sol Duc Valley is like entering another world. If you can't get enough of the area, consider taking a backpacking trip on the High Divide Loop, which takes about 2 to 3 days and has excellent views of Mount Olympus. Take a walk on Calac and Ruby Beach. Two of the most beautiful beaches in Washington state are Calac and Ruby Beach. These beaches are both protected by national wildlife refuges and coastal marine sanctuaries, so they are a safe haven for local wildlife. Calac Beach is the best place to view birds like tufted puffins, western gulls, bald eagles, and other coastal birds. It's the more popular of the two because there is a large campground nearby, and pets are allowed on the beach. Ruby Beach is considered one of the crown jewels of Olympic National Park. Its reddish sand gives the appearance of little rubies, and the beach is populated with picturesque rock formations and tide pools. Explore the Quinault Rainforest. The Quinault Rainforest is a must-see for anyone traveling from afar. It's one of the only rainforests in the lower 48 states. The temperate rainforest receives an impressive 140 to 170 inches of rain per year, which allows lush trees and mosses to flourish. In the rainforest, you will find 2 great hiking trails that are short and perfect for families visiting the area for the first time. The Hall of Mosses Trail is the most iconic. It's less than 1 mile long and loops you through an outstanding old-growth forest. The Spruce Nature Trail is slightly longer, measuring 1.2 miles, but it has minimal elevation gains, so it's perfect for a leisurely stroll. For adventurers who want to take a longer route, the Hoh River Trail is a popular out-and-back hike that leads 17.4 miles in one direction to Glacier Meadows. Each of these trails feature dense undergrowth, thick canopies, and unique flora. One thing that is immediately noticeable when hiking through the rainforest is how quiet the whole area can be. The trees do an excellent job of blocking sound and making you feel like you have the place to yourself. The rainforest also has fairly mild temperatures year-round. It rarely gets warmer than 80 degrees in the summer and below mid-20s in the winter. Feel the mist of Mir Falls. Don't leave Olympic National Park before getting your feet wet at Mir Falls. This is one of the most popular waterfalls in the park because it's so large and accessible. The trail itself is 2 miles from Lake Crescent by way of the Barnes Creek Trail. You can see and hear the waterfall as you approach it because of its massive size. Mir Falls cascades 90 feet downward and has 2 main viewpoints. One is located at the base of the falls, and the other allows you to look down the falls from the hillside above. The path to get there is mostly flat, short, and easy for all ages. Drive up Hurricane Ridge. If you're looking for the most picturesque views of the Pacific Coast Mountains, nothing beats driving to the top of Hurricane Ridge. The high alpine zone is easily accessible by car from Port Angeles. Hurricane Ridge is a colorful area to visit if you're looking for mountaintop hiking trails and panoramic views of the Olympic Range, Puget Sound, and Vancouver Island. Unfortunately, on May 7, 2023, the Hurricane Ridge Day Lodge, which housed a visitor center, gift shop, and interpretive exhibit, was burned to the ground after a devastating wildfire. Although services are no longer available, you can still drive up and enjoy the picturesque hiking trails. The Hurricane Hill Hike is a favorite among travelers looking for panoramic views. It's a moderate hike that stretches 1.2 miles in one direction. Shorter hikes include the Cirque Rim and High Ridge Trail. The best time of year to keep your feet dry is between July and October, when all of the spring snows have melted. Between mid-December and March, Hurricane Ridge transforms into a gorgeous winter wonderland offering cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and tubing. Go tide pooling at Hole in the Wall. If you've never been to a tide pool, Olympic National Park offers a variety of areas where you can try this activity for the first time. Tide pooling is simply going out to see plant and animal life in low tide areas during daylight. Find a clear pool and gaze under the water. Hermit crabs and seaweed will immediately stand out, but if you look closely, you'll start to see interesting creatures such as urchins, top snails, and smaller anemones. Hole in the Wall is one of the must-visited tide pools in Olympic National Park because of its unique archway right next to the sea. To get there, you'll need to hike 1.5 miles north of the Rialto Beach Trailhead. The best time to go tide pooling is about 30 minutes before the lowest tide. Always be on the lookout for the returning tide and sneaker waves. If you don't want to hike too far, there are plenty of other tide pools to explore in Olympic National Park, including Third Beach, Ruby Beach, and Second Beach. See massive trees in the Quinault Rainforest. Located in the Valley of the Rainforest Giants on the western side of the Olympic Mountains is the Quinault Rainforest. The Quinault Rainforest has larger trees and shorter hikes than you would find in the Hoh Rainforest, so it's the perfect place to visit with kids. The Quinault Rainforest accumulates an impressive 12 feet of rain per year to nourish the trees. It's home to 5 of the top 10 biggest Douglas fir trees and the largest Sitka spruce in the world. You can also find mountain hemlocks, western hemlocks, and multiple waterfalls in the area. If you love wildlife viewing, this is the perfect place to search for marmots, birds, and elk. The Roosevelt elk are the largest animal in the park and can weigh up to 1,000 pounds. You'll find that they are noticeably bigger and darker than Rocky Mountain elk, and these animals can be found right in the forest. Drive the Olympic Loop. If you or anyone in your family feels like driving more than hiking, explore the Olympic Peninsula Loop. This is a great way to enjoy the spectacular sights and wildlife of Olympic National Park without exhausting yourself. The entire loop stretches 332 miles long and takes about 8 hours to complete. Much of it encircles Olympic National Park. The loop starts in Seattle, Washington, and continues through the Olympic Peninsula, Sequim, Knee Bay, and Aberdeen. Most people will choose to drive only a portion of the loop at one time, hitting the most popular spots in the national park. Lake Crescent and the Sole Duck Valley are situated right on the loop, as well as the Pacific Coast beaches and the Quinault Rainforest. Make sure to take your time to stop for a few short hikes or take some pictures of the ocean and trees along the way. Popular places to stop are the Point of Arches, where you can see rocky sea stacks along the coast, or search for starfish on Calac Beach. Both beaches are excellent places to have a picnic and admire the huge driftwood logs along the shore. Dive into Lake Crescent. Lake Crescent is a beautiful, blue-green lake nestled in the foothills of the Olympic Mountains. It's the second deepest lake in the state of Washington, and the perfect place to go picnicking, paddling, and boating. Multiple companies in the area offer watercraft rentals. The deep, sapphire lake appears to be bottomless. If you're into fishing, rowboats are available to rent from Lake Crescent Lodge, which sits right along the shoreline. There are also rooms and cottages available for reservation. Lake Crescent is an ideal place for artists and photographers because there are multiple hikes around the lake from the lowland forests to the surrounding mountains. You can easily get pictures from above the area looking down to the lake below. Olympic National Park has a splendid array of activities for both nature lovers and adventurers alike. Among the top things to do are exploring the enchanting Hoh Rainforest, trekking up to the Hurricane Ridge, relaxing in the mist of Mir Falls, and unwinding by the serene Crescent Lake. Each activity offers a unique way to connect with nature and create lasting memories amidst the park's vast biodiversity and striking landscapes.